Da, 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 da. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? We're coming on a little bit earlier. Um, you know, we're a bunch of old men, so we're trying to get as much time as we can on this show. Uh, again, this is a three-headed monster. I'm brother Brian, my partner. You know, he ain't my right hand man. We just, we side by side. This is brother Jerome,
What's up, peoples?
and we coming to you live. I'm coming from live from Philadelphia, and he coming live from South Carolina. Now we haven't been on here for a while, but I mean, at the time we do take breaks because sometimes we have to, get our minds right. But we get back on this indigenous, or we not saying indigenous, well, yeah, indigenous continent, but at the same time we're talking about um, the dark histories of early America. Um, we keep digging, and sometimes you keep digging, you can't stop digging. Um, I know today we're going to talk about, um, some stuff that we're going to get into. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. During the 1760s, but what's going on, Jerome? We'll get into that. We'll get into that. What's going on, Jerome? Talk to me.
What's going on, bro? Everything's good, man. Yeah, back. Three-headed monster. It's been a minute. We're back on the airwaves. Uh, first, we want to say hello to our Facebook family. Uh, say hi to our YouTube family. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And want to encourage everybody to subscribe to the Three-Headed Monster. As always, everything that we talk about, strictly our opinions, strictly from the research that we have done. Please don't believe anything that we tell you. Take the information, go research it for yourself. Once you find out the information, once you find out the facts, come back. Let's talk about it. Let's politic. Let's build, and then let's go forward. Because the only reason that we're on here is not to sway you in any way with our opinions. It's to help you see clearly where to get your research from. That's all. So what's up, B?
No, what's going on? What's going on, man? Like I said, we took us a, I guess you could say we took a break because we are fathers, we are grandfathers, and it's been an interesting year. I just want to say to the healthcare workers out there on the front lines, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I know everything is rough. This COVID mess, you don't want to hear our opinions because we still trying to stay on the air. But this is something serious. I mean, it's serious because of how it's been politicized, but at the same time, boost your immune system. Um, Keep staying hydrated. Get on your vitamin C's, your vitamin D's. Just stay on point. Stay healthy. Eat healthy.
Some zinc,
Yes, keep the zinc.
zinc, vitamin D. It's
Yeah.
winter time.
So one thing that we just want to keep pushing out there. We're just trying to put out information that we find. It's a lot of stuff. This is one of those critical race theories that I don't know where the hell it keeps coming up from. But what
Right.
we're about to bring up is something that a lot of people, I never really, really studied it, but at the same time, it's something that you really have to pay attention to because um, what they teach us in history is not really. they don't tell us the full truth. They only tell us a good point of it to butter you up. I more to say. Oh wait a minute, dude. Man, you got people saying stuff. I can't get no comments coming
No. It's well, Melissa did.
on. Melissa's on.
Yeah, it's been
Yo,
forever.
peace, peace. Let me see if I can get that. Do some changeover.
But now you make an interesting point about history. You know, we've been told the history. It don't really satisfy us. We've just been told the history that that's all you gonna get. And so your mind is formed around the little bit that you get all the since you were little. You know, that's why they only give you the same things for the last 50 years. What you were taught in school, your son's being taught in school now. I mean, and my
Actually,
mother was taught that when she was in school, you know.
actually, it's kind of interesting, dude. If I was to bring Xavier in and let him tell you what they teach in their school, I'm kind of a little jealous because it ain't nothing what we talk about or anything like that. And it's kind of in a sense of, well, he's in a charter school, so it ain't like his public school.
Right.
Um, but oh yeah, he got some questions. That boy got some questions. But let's get it in. Brother Wathrow, peace, 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 peace. Um, but yeah, and peace up to you again, Melissa. You know, you need to get back on, Melissa. We miss you. We
Yeah.
miss you.
Right.
So let's get into this proclamation of 1776, and I guess we can kind of lead up to what brought it up because we have to understand this is the ending of the French and Indian War. Um, which is kind of interesting because I always thought it was just the French and the Indians fighting, but it was more like the French and the Indians were fighting, the British and the
Right.
colonials. Which to me, I'm thinking, would it is it the colonials or is it Britain and Britain? You know what I'm saying? For some
Are they
reason,
the
they
colonists?
the colonists got separated into they're colonists and they're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah. Well, you know,
British.
you got to realize they were from different countries too in Europe. I mean, you know, you had people from Germany, you had people from uh, uh, New Amsterdam or Amsterdam. You had people from the Dutch. You know, you had different French. Well, not French,
I
but
know
you
what
had
you're
different
saying.
Europeans.
I mean, you got your Irish,
Right.
everybody in that British. Yeah, I mean, because we
Well,
have talked about some of the first colonists. Everybody keep thinking Jamestown was the first colonists, or they brought
right.
established, which they were on the British side, on
Well,
the English.
The
Yes.
Irish and England were kind of at war.
Yeah.
You know, British is kind of like
Yeah.
this.
Like now.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a blanket word for like the British Isles. We use British, we say Britain, but really it wasn't Britain. It was really England.
Uh-oh. All those so-called colonists were so-called Black Europeans. True. True. So we get into the ending of the French and Indian War. Now, what a lot of things it's everybody is. Let me see if I get my little pointer going. Yeah, there we go. We have to understand this is Canada. So
Slow your
basically,
pointer down. Slow your pointer down.
oh my bad. We have British Columbia, which is Canada, which is kind of like Quebec or Montreal, um, in that sense of the colonists. So the British came in and they wanted every damn thing, or these colonists. Let's get these colonists, these 13 colonists. So The British needed to fight. They needed, the help of the colonists. And what happens is the British run out of money. It's kind of interesting. All these countries that come over here trying to take over our land, they go broke
They were
fighting,
already broke. That's why they came over here.
just looking for resources. So the thing about this whole situation is you have a the treaty. Let me see. Damn, did I? Oh man, I took it down. The Treaty of Paris of 1763, which let me see if I can pull that up, which tells a lot about what was going on. I thought I had that damn thing up. Oh wait a minute, is it this? No, yeah, boom. I thought I had it. The Treaty of the French and the 7-year war between Great Britain and France, as well as respective allies, turns. So they come to Paris and they come to just put an end to this mess. So the point is about this is one thing that we really don't really understand is our ancestors that was already here, and our ancestors was like, okay, y'all keep coming into our land. Okay, if we help y'all get these Britons out or these colonists, all right, yeah, we're gonna help. But the French ended up losing the war. Not only did they lose this war, they lost a lot of area. Let me see if I can get that map back. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Yeah, yeah. Nope, not that one. There we go. So they lose all this. So the British, everything in pink is what the British actually gained. So everything in the Ohio River Valley is what they gained. Now they wanted to, when you win something, what you want to do? You want to, I want to see what I got. I want to see what's on this land.
Right.
So now you have to respect Pontiac. Yes, the car named Pontiac is named after a very famous Native American or indigenous American who people was like, yo, we don't want y'all here. I mean, we already talked about King Philip's War. It's they don't show that we constantly keep fighting back. We keep pushing back. We keep telling them we don't want y'all here. Go back home. Go back to your own country, like how they be trying to tell us black. Go back to Africa. No, they were telling y'all to go back home. So he sets up a rebellion, and they start attacking certain colonists. So you got to understand the British, Boston was getting hit hard. The whole Massachusetts, that area was getting tacked up because they kept coming over. So this area is crazy. Let me see if I got another map can give you a bigger view of. No, that ain't what I want. What was that? No, damn it.
Right.
There we go. So this is your 13 colonies that was kind of established. No, all these colonies wasn't established by then. The fuck.
Nah, that's showing that's showing like present states. Oh,
All right.
why you got this on here? Why you got this map up?
Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting to know. Um, During this time, we know about the Louisiana Purchase, right? It's gonna happen a few years, into the future, right?
like 20.
So think about the land which is still controlled by the French, and
Mm-hmm.
that which is controlled by Britain after this agreement, right? See, they
Mm-hmm.
told you that the Louisiana Purchase, is when America acquired most of its land, right? But you can see
So
by this, the British had started acquiring land before the Revolutionary War,
yeah, because everything in the red is what the British already
right?
had.
But the pink
And
is what they gained after this 17. 1763. Now
Yes.
they had the Indians, or well, the, the indigenous that were already in the whole Americas, right? That's why they had to have the agreement that they did with you see where it says Indian reservation.
Yes.
Because think about it, if it was that many what you call Indians were in America, then where did they go? But
I mean, we.
we see the distribution of what we call blacks in America now. We see especially through this area. When you talk about the Detroit, Michigan area,
Hmm.
you talk about, and if you go straight down, that would be your Alabama, Mississippi areas.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But
But I mean, it's kind of interesting when you see when you. I mean, what you're saying is we seeing that even the Spanish even gained land. So
yeah,
what we
for a
consider,
while.
you know, so basically we see something happening. So the British gain land. Now, again, this is not the colonists. This is Great Britain saying
Right.
this is ours. You 13 colonies got what y'all got. This is ours, which is kind of funny when you still claiming something that's yours that's not yours. But now we go to this whole proclamation. After this peace treaty, you know, or the Treaty of Paris, and again, these are treaties that they have that Jerome talks about a lot. Of how they go into a country and they just start butchering up and dividing, and saying this is yours, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. So they noticed something, and they noticed something big. So the Native Americans, for one, already allowed you to come on this island, come on Turtle Island. They allowed you to come and get a piece. It's kind of like a drug dealer coming into a new territory, and you got big muscles and you got a lot of firepower, and you kind of like, all right, I don't want to fight you. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna give you a piece of this land. Just, but again, eventually, we know you're gonna want to take over the whole territory. So King George III comes up with a decree, and he brings out the Proclamation of 1776, which he entails, puts it out there. Let's see. Indians with whom we are connected and who lives under the protection shall not be molested or disturbed.
Yeah, right.
That they're protected. So now we got to understand that right now we have two different countries. We have Canada, we have the United States. Canada still respects this territory to this day. Well, we already know United States don't even care. So he put the decree out, and then he brings his soldiers out, and he said, "Do not go west of the Appalachian Mountains." We know where that is because we're from that area. I'm from, South Carolina, North Carolina. That's our territory basically. That's our home. We on the foothills of that particular mountain. Because I'm from Gaffney, South Carolina, which is the western northwestern part of South Carolina, and Jerome is down in he grew up in Forest City, which is the southern western part. So we basically 45 minutes away on different sides of this border. Yo, what's going on, Jeremy? What's going on? What's going on? So now we understanding that somehow we think the British is respecting our territory, our inheritance, our culture, our land that we worship and we treasure and we respect. So he sets a boundary and says, do not come across this. Don't come west of this mountain. Now, the 13 colonies, which we see is in red, it's already established. You got your 13 colonies. You're good, but you get greedy because they saying basically, fuck y'all. We don't have to listen to this. What y'all gonna do?
But and you gotta look at it too like this. So you gotta know that 13 colonies wasn't made up of just English, right?
True.
So it's Britain or England that's setting this boundary.
Yeah.
So they're saying to every other, sub country that's inside of there, look, this is as far as y'all can go. The rest of this is going to be British or English territory, right? And you don't think that they had spies within these colonies that understood in the next 15 years they were going to go to a revolutionary war? So, I mean, they were already plotting and setting up their boundaries too. And a lot of things we don't think about, like take us as indigenous people, we don't look at things with borders, right?
Yeah.
They had borders, we didn't have borders.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had cities, yeah, we had civilization, but it wasn't really a borders thing, right? There was
True.
free movement inside of the United States. And so this is what the Europeans had set up this border, this restriction of freedom. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that's what they had brought. That's why it was so easy to move for them to move around in the country and to dismantle who we were because we didn't think of it as a border thing. Who's
Hmm.
crossing into our borders? Once people were in, we dealt with them, accordingly.
Which entails shows you this is something that I constantly wrestle with. We, as a people, we be taught as we're savages, we're animals, we're we're this and that, everything in the negative. You know, no culture, no nothing. But now we kind of see is really who is really the savages? Who's really these monsters? Who are these animals? Because if we are constantly people of peace, but you keep disrespecting us, yes, we're gonna fight. And this is where the Pontiac rebellion comes into play. Because now you starting to see fights, and now you starting to like, yo, these dudes don't play. Because we don't talked about. I know we don't talked about two wars already. Because the King Philip War was something serious too.
Right.
And I think the war of I forgot the other thing that we was talking about is like 1668. I think 68, 69. Is again, we don't just back down. That's why I hate that we keep being taught that we're a bunch of weak people and we just, work on plantations and we just pick cotton and tobacco all day when we're a bunch of warriors, we're a bunch of fighters. Even, I'm trying to say this without Jerome saying anything crazy. Our cousins, our cousins across the water, from Africa, they wasn't a bunch of punks either. They didn't. A lot of them didn't go down fighting. A lot of them went down fighting. So but you also have to understand is you have these 13 colonies. Where's all the people that was there? Either they moved westward or you're enslaved them. Instead of you keep saying we was transported out of Africa, we was already here. We just happened to be casualties of war. So King Philip put out this creed saying nobody go past, this Appalachian Mountains. But sign happens. Britain runs out of money. Britain is broke. But you just put out this creed saying, don't come across this land. It's kind of like when your parents tell you don't touch something and you go turn around and you touch it anyway. But see, the
Right.
thing about it is you're telling the colonists what not to do, but I thought the colonists was a part of these particular European countries. And these colonists is kind of, you start to see a separation. You're starting to really see a separation. You're starting to wonder what's really, really going on. The colonists is kind of like, we don't need y'all. We already established our colonies. So now when we see an established, these colonies established, now again, this is 1763. Revolutionary War happens what? 1776.
1776.
Ooh. But what we were told the reason why the Revolutionary War happened?
Oh, over taxation and some bad tea or something.
You talking about the Boston Tea Party? So this is what I'm saying. We was taught that the whole Revolutionary War was because the colonists was like, we tired of paying these taxes. Some of that is, yes, mixed in, but a lot of it was because the colonists wanted to expand westward. You was just told you can't go there, and it was like, F you, we're going anyway. What you gonna do about it? You ain't at home, daddy.
you know, let me throw this out at you.
Throw it at me.
This,
Hit me in the
this,
face with it.
I mean, this is just something to think of
Mm.
because they always tell you it's over taxation, right? Um, but look at the 13 colonies, if you
Yeah.
would. Just
Hmm.
look at them right now.
Yeah.
You know, there's only really two of those states that are forming states, and you only got part of them, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah. They was together at that time.
So listen, where was the taxes coming from?
Mm.
If it was all about taxes, where was all the states that would cash crops? Your Alabamas, your Mississippi, your Louisiana, your even Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. They wasn't North Carolina. They wasn't fully parts of this 13 colony.
Hmm.
So the money that was being made, who was making the money? You see
Good
what I'm
question.
saying?
Hmm.
So when you look at the whole story of why there was a rebellion, they don't give you the full story of what was really going on over here because you really don't even know all the players in the game.
Yeah. Sometimes you keep that out because you show your hand. Let's see, brother Wathrow. Let's see what he put out there. Interesting. He said Negro pings. I got that. I got you. I got you. Yes, which is just to set it up. But then he turned around and he followed up with this one right here. Mm, interesting.
Now, I
Go
know
ahead.
exactly what he's talking about, but we're gonna have to get him on the show to explain himself with that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna need him to you know
Because what it now when he I'm gonna just as a precursor, when I said you don't understand all the players in the game, now when he comes home, it's gonna change how you view America, who was here, what was going on, how it moved forward. Let me just say that.
true, which is into which is true. So you hear this critical race theory, which
Okay.
I'm still trying to find out how the hell this shit got life, and I'm trying to understand the main component, and don't
Who
teach
does
it.
it benefit? That's what you look for first.
Yes, it benefits the non-melanated people of this country, to be political correct, because you're saying don't teach people. You're telling people don't teach them the truth. Just teach them enough to make them feel happy, make them
Right.
feel like I'm proud to be an American. Man, fuck. But when we come in and what we're showing you is, some of the stuff that they teach us is not really true. So now, if this decree, basically we see the colonists fighting back against the British, and the British is like, yo, if we put this out there, and we put this out there, it's a wholesale for thieves. Oh, that is true. So damn true. But see, this is the point because I mean, I try to give. It's funny how I have to teach my boys. I have to teach them their game, but I'm also teaching them what is true to the game because you don't want to be labeled an enemy, but you want to know the enemy. You don't need sometimes you don't need the enemy to know that you know the truth. And bringing out the truth about this is saddened that our people got massacred because of greed. Our people got massacred and constantly got pushed down all the way from Canada all the way down to Florida. Many wars. And I think one of the last wars is the Gilly Wars, or what's the other word for the Gilly Wars? The Seminole Wars.
Seminole Wars.
So, but again,
Well, yeah, they yeah, there's two different things, but
in the same area, yeah.
you're right. I
We,
don't want to take nothing from either one.
yeah. So again, if we go into war right after this, basically, this whole trying to not say it and just try to be very understanding is these countries constantly going into war. Well, they just came out of the 7 Year War with the French fighting over land that's not theirs. But then we have a division between the colonists and the country that supports the colonists, and the colonists saying, you know what, this is ours, we taking over. And what do they do? Boy, do they take over and they bulldoze everything.
You know what's interesting? Okay, so you talk about they're constantly at war, right? So if they're constantly at war, where are
Mm-hmm.
they getting this manpower from?
Or where they getting the funding from? Corporations.
Well, no. The money is fine. Because we're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about you're talking about 18th century, 1700s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying manpower itself. You know, how big was England that they could be all the way around the world fighting? How big was France? They could be all the way around the world fighting. We gotta do some introspective of the United States and
Okay.
the infighting within itself,
Okay.
because the French teamed with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So Britain teamed with somebody.
Yep. Everybody has their allies.
Now even think about when Revolutionary War,
Mm-hmm.
they teamed with somebody.
Ooh.
During the Civil War, the North with somebody. That's how they won the war. So
Mm.
these somebodies we're gonna have to talk about one day.
No, because this whole yeah, actually, I thought in my studies, it's three parties involved when it comes to the Revolutionary War, and one is somebody's protecting their investment,
We got that. Let me just
and
be frank. Let me be frank. There was dark people in this country that fought in these wars, and some of them wanting to do us good. Let's say it like that.
all right, let me see what Brother Walter throwing us. Let me get the first one. They erase
Okay.
us in history and what happened to us. True, they did. They still doing it to this day. And he put down is just a way that we.
They brought us here.
That is true.
Mhm.
See, but we have touched on the two big corporations companies, which is Virginia and Plymouth Rock. Plymouth was a company that chartered. So there was corporations that brought people over here. All right, he's then you see, yo, what's going on, Mr. Rico Williams? You see, the most so-called whites do not. Oh boy, he on fire today. We need to get you on here, brother Wathrow. We need to get you up on here.
Well,
But
see that right there goes to my point. See what I'm saying?
yeah, but at the same time, what do you teach your kids when, especially when it comes to the Declaration of Independence and that this to see the fight between what's going on, because now we're starting to see maybe something, this American or this United States history is a bunch of BS.
Well, it's a lot of BS because it's a lot. Not just. I think the problem is that you were taught that even if you wasn't brought from Africa, that every black person was poor.
True. To this day,
And
they still do that.
you see what I'm saying? So that, in a sense, throws everything out because if you do, okay, let's take for example, if you do the research on the state of Louisiana, right,
Hmm.
and you find out the two largest slave owners that ever was in the state were black families. Would it surprise you? Would it make you mad? Would it throw your history off?
No, because we found that out that some of the biggest slave owners in Virginia were people, were blacks. So it's kind of interesting when we, because I know we always think of, it's a color thing, a race thing. Race didn't become a big issue until they start seeing, people of color and poor whites come together. I know we just, Martin Luther King just, passed, not his passing, but his birthday, his national holiday was just, celebrated. And then I had to teach my son what he really, everybody looks at him as, him wanting to integrate, wanted all people to be, all together. And then I had to show him about the speech he made saying that, I led my people into a burning building. And he was like, well, what do you mean when he say that? And I was like, because he knew what he was trying to do, which, he had the best heart to do it.
Right.
It just happens to not end up in the way that he thought it was going to end up. Because if these people come here and they trying to take over, which they still fighting us to this day, they're not going to let go. And boy, they are so threatened by us knowing who we are. Because
Listen,
what we doing right now? Look at what we're doing right now.
right.
We could
Let
have
me
did
let
this
me
10 years
let me
ago.
keep stirring the pot though.
Oh shit.
I got let me keep stirring the pot for you.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's say when they came over,
Okay.
there was already economics set up.
Yes, it was.
Now listen what I'm saying though. Let me get to
Hmm.
my point. So look at where the 13 colonies are located, right? They're not located in the money spots. I would, if I was coming over, I'm looking for prime real estate. I'm setting up in the prime real estate. So obviously somebody was already set up in that prime real estate. So now you have business interests against business interests. I'm not saying they're European. I'm saying they look like us.
Hmm.
And I think that there was uh not that I think, I'm just looking at how things are shaped, how things are laying, that never on this earth have you ever heard of a monolithic black culture. There was no one black culture that ran the earth. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
there's never, even if you look in Africa, there's not one monolithic. uh, civilization. You know what I'm saying? That either you're talking about the nods or you're talking about uh, um, ancient Kemet or ancient, uh, Samaria or whatever you want to talk about, right? So
Hmm.
in the Americas, I think it was the same way, right?
Hmm.
So, oh yeah, 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 I can do that. Uh, so anyway, what I'm getting back to, I think we had a lot of infighting in the United States. It caused us to lose it.
Hmm. But see, basically, what you're saying, what we're doing now, is the same thing we did two, three, 400 years ago.
Yes,
Okay.
we don't link together to repel our enemies.
Okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. So I mean, so it's kind of like we just never learn a lesson in a sense because I think a lot of stuff was already established. So actually, as you do the story, I think we might need to do a story on Pontiac Rebellion. Um,
Right,
you know, he's become well respected in his tribe in all the tribes because he combined a bunch of tribes together to fight, the colonists, and then he turned around and get killed by they don't never say who did it, but you know he gets killed by
you
another
said it's
Native
an
American.
inside job.
It's always an inside job,
Right,
but then you never know who's pushing that agenda. Because if you're a threat, and I think that's something that I heard somebody say is you killed all the a generation of leaders in the
right,
'60s and '70s. They killed, they murdered, they got rid of a lot of our leaders, and now we have a whole generation of people from one of fear of not wanting to put yourself out there because you're going to lose your life,
right,
and two, nobody's going to respect you because we already fighting within each other, even trying to find out who our true identity is as a people. Again,
right,
we get that at that time in the '60s we consider color, Negro, colored, black.
which we have been considered those things. They flip flop that for about 200 years. They always want to keep you confused about who you are, so you don't know who you are. They'll give you a name. I've never understood why we accept a name from another people.
Or let them teach us our history about who we are.
Hello.
So that's something that I can't, and then I think I'm glad that we do what we do because that's something that we keep trying to push is we're trying to push out facts or we put research into what we're doing. We just don't come out here just talking and shucking and driving, or we pushing for views. So we're gonna tell you what you want to hear. No, we're not gonna tell you what's making this ain't making you comfortable, but it's gonna enlighten you and it's gonna open your eyes to what's it'll make you do your own research.
Right,
That's what we're trying to do because it made us do our research, so we're making you do your own research.
right,
So when you do your own research, you come back and be like, yo, I didn't know. Why? Because you will take everything that they taught you in this so called schools, and you got enough to get you through. And then you find out it is so much bigger. It's because you only getting one point of view versus getting the other side. So you're getting one side of a coin. And not even one side of a coin. They just taking credit for the whole thing. And it's kind of like we'll give you the scraps. But the birds gonna come and get that. Other animals gonna come and eat that. So you don't really eat. So when can you tell your truth? We've been hushed up, so the fact is we can't tell our truth.
I mean, and That's the whole point. Like you was mentioning that CTR. You know, it's just more to collude and to confuse what the truth is. Yeah. So I don't know. They keep it cloudy, and so when you do get pieces of truth, pieces of information, it's like you don't know what to believe.
No, because it make you start questioning yourself. No, it'll make you question what you was taught because you'd be like, I didn't hear that. Where did you get that from?
Right.
We're in the age of Aquarius. We're in the information age. Everything is out there. If you want to know everything about you, you can find out without giving up your DNA. You can find out everything you need to find out about what you want or about you, your family. You just have to put the research in. Nobody wants to do research no more. Everybody wants to be given to you. And see what happens when somebody has an agenda. They took these 13 colonies, turn around, and within 100 years, they ran away with it.
Right.
They ran away with it, and they still
Right.
run away with it to this day. So now, when you see today's society, you have to see it, why they are fighting so hard because they are losing power. And when people lose power, they got to tighten their grip, and they're gonna tighten that whip. So, like I said, Jerome starts it off and said, "Do your own research. Don't believe us. Don't believe
Right.
us. Go do your own research." But at the same time, we're gonna keep pointing out the dark sides of this, this so-called United States. Because if another country tells you not to do something and you did it anyway, what that says about you. And then the massacre starts. The genocide starts. Genocide 101. They showed you how you kill off a people, you kill off these sources by destroying all the buffalo. How you wipe out 30 million buffalo? 30.
Yeah. For sport, you didn't
Yes.
eat that much buffalo,
And you
but
keep it, like you
but
said, for sport.
but here's the thing too. A lot of indigenous blacks,
Hmm.
we didn't realize how many concentration camps that they had formed in the United States, and they were killing us in the masses. And a lot of people think um, that Germany created all these things. Germany was following suit of what they done in America.
What's going on, brother Watho? Hey, I think Jerome sent you the link. If you want to, you can come join us, and we would love to hear your point of view. They fought because they decided they.
Then there'll be slaves again. You know who he's talking about, right?
Them,
Yeah, the Europeans.
which
That,
goes all the way back to the 1492. Nah, it goes even before 1492.
yeah, it go way back.
There was more than one copper colored. Okay.
That's why the book The Americas, showed all the different copper color races that were here in the Americas. And it was published in 1678, you
Good
know,
luck if you can find it. And if
right?
it is, boy, it's gonna cost a lot of money.
Right. I think last price I seen on it was about a quarter of $1 million. But I think the Library of Congress, you can get in there. They have one.
Yeah, they have one. Some you have to spend a couple of weeks there just to try to get through this book. But I mean, at the same time, Yeah, you got your Asiatic. When you put this up, let's see. Yeah, it's a difference between your indigenous, your true indigenous, because I mean, you got to understand, there was a lot of trade going from back and forth from Africa to, from South America for Africa, coming through this Atlantic trade. It was basically not a slave trade, but it was actually Atlantic trade. Um, so when they teach us how Native Americans got here through the Bering Strait, that's your Asiatic Indians. That's not us.
That's not. That's not. That's
That's not
not
us.
right. Well, it's not just that. Is what that's talking about is when the Mongolian people come over. This is after the second Wormian ice age. They came over the Bering Strait. When they came into the Americas, they found people. These what you call Native American Indians are a mixture.
True.
That's not even the Mongolian type people that came over in the first place. You know, they mixed out of that 20,000 years ago.
True. So you can't claim something that was
Yeah,
already here.
Peru. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I read what he said. But yeah, the Peruvian Indians. I mean, man, this earth is extremely old. The people are extremely old. You know, you're being taught through their eyes of history because their eyes are recent. You see what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
recently have a history.
Okay. So yeah, we it's a lot, but we're gonna wrap this up. I mean, it's some we got our point across. We got our point across, and let
True.
y'all know. Study what led up to the Revolutionary War. You study the Boston Tea Party. Study the truth about the Boston Tea Party. It ain't what you think. They told you. Study that. Study. Let's see. So I got my list. The Boston Massacre is another one that we got to do. Some studies on too, because they don't. You got to understand. You just can't come and you have to wipe out a bunch of people to take land. These colonists, these 13 colonists in the red, you act like this damn land was empty. It was full of people, millions of indigenous people, and they wiped out, sold to slavery, or just massacre. There's so many wars that happen. There's so many wars happened in America before the Revolutionary War, and we're gonna keep trying to find certain. We're gonna keep finding them and try to educate you as much as we can because that's what we do. So, you got anything else you want to talk about, Mister Jerome?
Oh man, that's, that's pretty good today.
So, I guess we're gonna wrap this up. I guess I'm gonna get because Jerome has these lavishes, words of wisdom. But you know, this is gonna be a difficult year. Um, Pay attention to your children because I know this is doing this COVID, not being social as much as they used to. I mean, some kids might enjoy this. Some kids, need that connection. Protect yourself because of this, this variants that always keep coming out. Um, and just hey, see your family, love on your family because you never know. You never know. Somebody can pass away at any minute, and you just don't know. And then you never say, "I got that chance to, you know, get to say goodbye." So stay in contact. A phone call, make a phone call, just talk to somebody. You know, But at the same time, stay blessed, stay peaceful, meditate. Uh, I'm in the winter because I'm in Philly, so it's cold, so I can't get as much sunlight as I normally do, which I kind of hate. But at the same time, just try to keep your mind clear. Keep your mind understanding what's the purpose of why you're here. Learn why the purpose of why you're here. But love yourself, believe in yourself, and look in the mirror, say I love you, and don't be afraid that they say I love you back. Go ahead, Mr. Jerome.
Oh man, you beautifully stated that. So I think I just throw a pin in what you're saying. Uh, Connection. Connecting to your past. It's connecting to the present. It's connecting to your future. Um, how do we build connections? Um, Talking to each other. Talking to your family. Talking to the elders in your family. Finding out your history. Finding out how far back you go, and you'd be surprised what you connect with. Um, Connecting with like minds. Um, Connect with people that's smarter than you. Connect with people that challenge you. Connect. This should be a year that you grow so much more than you grew last year.
Facts.
Whether it be in knowledge, whether it be in love, whether it be in family, whether it be even monetary. This should be a year of growth for you. Um, whatever we could do to expand your knowledge base, please keep tuning in on YouTube, uh, on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, just to make sure that when that three-headed monster come on, you get that ding ding. And, we can share love with each other.
And we keep
Um,
building. We keep building.
Keep building. That's what it's all about. Like I said, we're not on here for you to say, "Man, I agree with them guys." You know, that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to make you say, "I don't know about that. Let me look that up." You know, that doesn't sound right. Let me look that up. If it spurs your mind, if it makes you think, if it takes you a little further than you were, then we've done our job. Man, I count it as a blessing to be on here with my brother, just to share knowledge and kick it around. Um, um, Everybody out there, love you. We'll do it again.
All right, y'all. Yeah. Check us out our website at 3hmonster.com. Like again, share, like, subscribe. Send us email address is 3headedmonster17 at gmail.com. Yo, just show us some love and we're gonna show you some love back. If y'all want anything y'all want us to discuss, if you even want to come on the show, talk to us, hit us up, and we can see what we can do. See if we connect, we're gonna build. We all about building, not destroying. We ain't gonna do what they did to us. We gonna build. So peace, y'all. Three headed monster.
Peace, fam.